Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we will be discussing about the top Selenium interview questions. So let's begin. So first question is about what are the different types of locators in Selenium. So the locator is basically used to uniquely identify any web element on a web page. So we have different types of locators like ID, class name, name, tag name, link text, partial link text, XPath, CSS selector. But out of these, ID is the safest and the fastest locator because it is used to locate at its roots, and it calls document.getElement by ID, which is very much optimized by many browsers. So the next question is, what is the difference between the absolute and relative XPath? So the first difference is basically how the absolute and relative XPath will start. So the absolute XPath will start with a single slash, and it will start from the root of the DOM, and it will cover the whole path. So it is also known as complete or full XPath. Whereas in case of relative XPath, it will start with a double forward slash expression and can start anywhere in the middle of the HTML DOM structure. So if we see the speed, absolute XPath will be faster because it identifies the element very fast, and whereas relative XPath is slower as compared to absolute because it will take more time in identifying the element as we specify the partial and not the complete path. So next, if we see the failure chances, so the failure chances is more in case of absolute XPath because if any tag is added in the middle or deleted, so it will fail the whole XPath. But in case of relative XPath, it doesn't matter. Now if we see the example, the absolute XPath is starting like from the HTML /HTML head, and if we see the relative XPath, it is starting from the double slash. Coming to the next question. So how do we find the background color of any field in Selenium? So to do that, basically we have one method get CSS value. So we can specify there like background color, and apart from that we have like a get attribute method. So we can find out the background style, background color. Coming to the next question, so what is the difference between assert and verify command? So if we see assert, so assert command will basically check the condition true or false. So let's say we assert and the given element is present on the page or not. If the condition is true, then the program control will execute the next step. But if the condition is false, then the next execution will not be executed and it will stop and halt. But in case of verify, it checks the condition if it is true or false. Irrespective of the condition is true or false, the program execution does not halt. So these are the difference between the assert and verify command. But now we will see what are the different types of assets. So we have hard assert and soft assert. So the hard assert basically throws an exception after the assert fail and carries out the next test case of the suit. Soft assert basically will not throw any exception. So this hard assert basically throws an assert exception instantly, so handled with a catch block. But in case of the errors in each basically at the rate test method execution will be accumulated. So this is the syntax for a hard and the soft asserts. So we have basically assert true, assert equals method in soft assert, and we have assert not equals, assert true method in hard assert. So coming to the next question, like what are the different types of weights we have in WebDriver? So we have basically three types of weights: implicit weight, explicit weight, and fluent weight. So implicit waits are basically used to provide a default waiting time which is 30 seconds. So it will basically provide this time between each consecutive and step command across the entire test script. So this is the implicit wait syntax. So we have like manage driver.manage.timeouts.implicitly wait. Then we have to specify like how much time we have to wait. Now coming to the explicit wait. So explicit waits are basically used to hold the condition if it does not match a specific condition. So they have expected conditions. So if we see we have expected condition like alert is present, element selection state to be element to be clickable, element to be selected, visibility of elements. So this is the syntax of explicit wait. So basically we have to instantiate the WebDriver wait, and we have to put the expected condition dot visibility of element located. So it will wait till the visibility of element is located for this particular web element, and then it will move forward. Coming to the fluent wait. So basically this wait is check the fluency of the web element. So it will like poll every time basically to check whether the element is present or not. So to basically use fluent wait, we have to instantiate the fluent wait, and we have to pass the WebDriver reference, and then we have the with timeout and polling every method. So we can basically put our amount of time which we have to wait or to poll. So coming to the next question, how can we find if element is displayed on the screen or not? So if we see the WebDriver, so to check the visibility of element, we have like web elements like button, drop down, checkboxes, radio button. So the following methods are there. So basically we have is displayed, is selected, or is enabled. So this is the syntax. So if we want to basically check the radio button is enabled or not, so we can use is enabled. If we want to check any text box is displayed or not, so we can use is displayed. Or if we want to check basically any check boxes is selected or not, so we can use is selected method. So the next question is, how can we get a text from a web element? So to get the text, basically we have a get text method. So using this method, it will return basically a string, and we can basically store that text here. Coming to the next question, so how to select any value in drop down? So basically to use this we have to use the select class. So basically in the select class we have to pass the parameter of the basically we have to pass the locator, and then we have like different methods like select by value, select by visible text, and select by index. So we can use these methods basically to select any value from drop down. The next question is on the what are the different types of navigate command. So we have like navigate.back, navigate.forward, navigate.refresh. So as we can see, like navigate.back will navigate backwards, navigate.forward will basically navigate to the next web page, .refresh will basically refresh the current web page, and navigate.to will basically command used to launch a web browser. So the next question is how to click a hyperlink text using link text. So as we have seen above, we have basically linked text and partial linked text locators. So we can use those locators basically to identify any linked text. The next question is how do we handle any frame in WebDriver? So basically to switch to any frame, so we have a method driver.switch2.frame, and we have to give the ID of the frame. So for locating frame, we can use the tag name or frame index or name of the frame. And if we want to switch to the parent window again, so we have to use a driver.switch2 default content. The next question is why do we use find element and find elements? So if we see the find element, it will basically return a web element, and find elements will basically return list of web elements. So if we want to uniquely identify only a single element on the current web page, so we can use find element. And if we want to locate find like all the elements, so we can use driver.find elements. So it will return the list of web element. And another thing is that if we don't find any element, so it will throw exception like no such element exception. And in case of find elements, it will basically return the empty list. So this thing can also be asked in the interview. The next is how to find more than one web element in the list. So as we have seen above, we can use driver.find elements, and then this will be stored in a list, so list of web elements, and then we can basically find the size, and then basically we can iterate through for loop, and we can click on each element. The next question is basically on driver.close and driver.quit command. So the close command will basically closes the web browser window that the user is currently working on, and the driver.quit command will basically close down all the windows. So this is very popular interview question. So the next question is how can we handle web-based pop-up? So to handle web-based pop-up, we have basically alert interface. So to switch to any alert, we have to write driver.switch2.alert, and then we can basically use alert.dismiss, alert.accept, or if you want to get text of the pop-up, so we can use the get text. If you want to dismiss the pop-up, so we can basically use dismiss function. If you want to accept the pop-up, so we can use alert.accept. So the next question is how to assert the title of the web page. So we can use assert true, and we can basically what is the expected value, we can put one parameter, and the second parameter we can put we can use the driver.getTitle, and we can use equals the title of the page. So basically we can compare using assert true. Coming to the next question, so how to do mouse over on any web element using WebDriver. So to do mouse overs, we have to use basically the action class. So to instantiate, we have to pass the reference of the driver, and we have a move to element method. So what we have to use is actions dot move to element, and basically we have to put the locator and then we have to build dot perform. So basically we have to put the locator to which we have to move. So the next is a very popular interview question. So how to capture the screenshot in WebDriver? So to capture the screenshot, we have a take screenshot method. So basically we have take screenshot interface. So we have to cast with the driver, and we can use get screenshot as method, and you can specify the output type as file here, and basically then you can use file utils to copy your captured screenshot to particular location. The next question is how to scroll down a page using JavaScript. So guys, to use a JavaScript, we have to basically use the JavaScript executor, and we have to basically cast this with the driver, and then we can use execute script method, and there is a windows dot scroll by. So you can give like to how much we have to scroll by, so we can give 0 till 1000. The next question is what do switch to command do? So using the switch to command, basically we can switch to any window. So to get the handle of window, basically we use driver dot get window handle. So it will give the window handle of the parent window, and the return type will be string. And then we can use basically driver dot switch to dot window, and we can give the window handle here. And for switching to multiple windows, we can use get window handles method. So it will return set of string of window IDs. Coming to the next question, so how do we set a browser window size? So basically to maximize the window size, we can use driver dot manage dot windows dot maximize. So this will maximize the window. But if we want to set the window size to a particular size, so we have to use the dimension, and we have to basically provide the height and the width, and then we can basically use set size, and we can provide the reference of dimension here. Or else we can use JavaScript executor as well, and we can use windows dot resize too. The next question is how do we do double click in Selenium? So to do double click, basically there is a method double click in Selenium. So it is present in the actions class. So we have to use actions dot double click, and we have to provide the basically the locator. So the next question is how to do right click in Selenium. So to do right click in Selenium, we have a context click method. So to use that, we have to instantiate the actions class, and we have a method action dot context click. The next question is how to do drag and drop in Selenium. So again we have a drag and drop by method in actions class. So we can basically use this method to perform the drag and drop operation. The next question is how do we move to any element or to focus on any element. So to focus on any element, we have to use move to element method. So move to element method is also present in the actions class, so we can use this method. So the next famous question is, what is desired capabilities? So desired capability is basically a class in Selenium used to set the property of browser or to perform cross browser testing of web application. So it stores the capability as a key value pair, and so basically these capabilities are used to set the browser properties like browser name, browser version, path of the browser, driver in the system. So coming down, so we can see we have to basically instantiate the desired capability, and we can use set capability. So we can set the browser name, version, platform, build name. So likewise we can we have like different things we can do in this. The next question is how to get and the add cookies in Selenium. So to get cookies, we have basically driver.manage.get cookies method, get cookies name. So we can specify here like the type argument for which cookie we have to get, and we can use this get cookies name method. The next is like to add cookies. We have add cookies method. So we can specify the cookie name here. So this cookie will be added. So guys, this was all about the interview questions. So we will meet in the next video. So if you like the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you for watching.